What's Sharif's message for investors?
Well, Paul, on the one hand, he said that he wants to make Pakistan a paradise for investors. And we didn't get too much detail, but he did single out the economic corridor, the Pakistan-China economic corridor, that's part of the Belt and Road Initiative with China. And he also described China as an all-weather friend. So this business-friendly message he has isn't just for Western powers. It's clearly also about trying to keep China on side as well. But as you mentioned, at the same time, though, beyond the business side of things, he also promised to lift the minimum wage and raise pensions for civil servants, which of course will put some pressure on government finances. So it was an overall mixture of quite a populist approach, but certainly one that's heavily leaning towards business-friendly sentiment, which is what he has a reputation for in his previous roles in government. And I think that's what most expectations are. He'll focus on trying to repair relations with the international investor community as he gets going in office.
Will that help with talks with the IMF? Because he made no mention of the $3 billion left on that IMF loan.
That was a really interesting thing, Sherry. There was no mention of accessing that financing from the IMF, which is of course critical to Pakistan accessing hard currency in the near term. There was a positive market reaction to his speeches, though, with both stocks and the rupee picking up after his remarks. And in fact, he himself said that was a sign of stability. But that's only one part of the story. We know that foreign exchange reserves continue to dwindle. They've only got enough to cover a short period of imports. We know that the central bank had to take that very aggressive step last week, 250 basis point rate hike, biggest since '96. They wouldn't have done that if they felt it wasn't needed. So I think that it might be taken that this initial speech by Sharif is probably phase one. Phase two, I think a lot of external investors and of course the IMF will be looking for detail on how he does plan to go about restructuring the country's debt, for example, and is he willing to engage with the IMF and on what terms.